Good morning, y'all. Mental Health Mondays. Mental Health Mondays, y'all. We back at it for another little session. And let me see. Mental Health Mondays, y'all. We back at it for another little session. For sure. We left off on self-awareness and self-discipline. Self-awareness is conscious knowledge of one's own character, feelings, motives, desires. Self-discipline is the ability to control one's feelings and overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize and understand emotions in yourself and others. To use it and be aware of it to the point to where you can manage your behavior in relationships. So self-awareness and self-discipline both fall under emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is something in all of us that is a bit entangled. I'm so in tune with my emotions that for a long time, because I watched myself embrace my feelings and everyone else suppress them, I felt as though I was weak for being so in tune with them. I felt like something was wrong with me for feeling my emotions, and I'm not gonna say being proud of them, but not being afraid to express them. When I got more so into the world and started growing, and someone from a young age, you see that's not, you cry, shut up. I don't want to hear that. Go sit down. You know what I'm saying? To express the emotions was never something accepted or something like we all took as a whole, whether as young bulls or even as now, to actually express. We kind of look at it as weakness. We look at it as something that we don't care about, but internally we care about because it's our feelings. Was weak for being so in tune with them, but I learned that the only thing I lacked at was not being able to control them, and that's emotional intelligence. Everybody has emotions. Everybody feels sad. Everybody feels angry. Everybody feels depressed. Everybody feels anxiety. Everybody feels emotions. So don't feel like something wrong with you if you feel them a little bit more than everybody else, or if you're okay with expressing them, but you see everybody else saying, everybody else not with that. Everybody else seems to suppress them, seems to not deal with them, seems to act as though their feelings don't matter. You don't have to fall in line. You don't have to fall with the majority. You can fall for what works for you, because they don't even work the fuck for them. So, me personally, emotional intelligence helped me in a big area of my life, because for a long time I was suppressing a lot of my emotions, not dealing with them. So it's a lot of triggers. I had a lot of triggers. I got a lot of anger built up. I got a lot of frustration. Nothing is being dealt with. Nothing is being learned. So nothing was being healed from. I learned the only thing I lacked at was not being able to control them. So you're not any less of anybody else for being in tune with your emotions. One of my affirmations is, I am not weak for being in tune with my emotions. I am wise for noticing and acknowledging them. So don't feel bad about that. Feel bad for not being able to emotionally handle your emotions, not being able to process them. Now that's what you can be upset about, or you can feel guilty about, or you can feel bad about. Not having enough emotional intelligence to face obstacles, situations, trials, tribulations, and fall victim of it instead of being able to cope through it. Emotions manage your behavior. Okay. You have emotional competence, and you have, where am I? Sorry guys, I don't really like getting off track. I kind of like staying on, keep you on tune. Social competence. You can't have social competence without personal competence. I'm sorry, y'all. I be heavy in the notes. Making sure I jot down everything as I'm reading into my book, jotting down everything that let me stay on topic. If you don't have personal competence, we can't even get to the social part. We can't even get there yet. Personal competence is the management of your behaviors, tendencies, and then social competence is basically how you choose to deal with situations regarding anybody else. It could be friends, family, strangers, however you choose to go about that. Emotional intelligence comes into play. There is no known connection between IQ and EQ. You simply can't predict EQ based on how smart someone is. Cognitive intelligence, or IQ, is not flexible. Your IQ is fixed from birth. Intelligence is your ability to learn, and it's the same at age 15 as it is at age 50. That threw me the fuck off. I said, whoa, oh. It said this is a fact. I also look into it as in not just knowledge from the books. I like, a second, point of view on things. There is no known connection between IQ and EQ. EQ is basically emotional intelligence. You simply can't predict EQ based on how smart someone is. Cognitive intelligence, or EQ, is not flexible. Your EQ is fixed from birth. Intelligence is your ability to learn, and it's the same at age 15 as it is at age 50. EQ, on the other hand, is a flexible skill that can be learned. It is true that some people are naturally more intelligent than others. A high EQ can be developed even if you aren't born with it. EQ is so critical to success that it takes account for 58% of performance in all types of jobs. It takes 58%. Your EQ, how you are able to communicate, deal with, cope, all that is important. I'm talking about in your day-to-day life, not just personal. It's a reflection of yourself to the outside world. 58% of performance in all types of jobs. Your EQ is the foundation for multiple skills: time management, decision making, and communication. Your EQ is the foundation for these three skills. There's multiple of them, but these three I pinpointed out specifically for myself: time management, decision making, and communication. Self-awareness and self-management focus more on you individually than on your interaction with others. So we're not going to more so be talking about in this live social competence, but more so personal competence and what we're doing to endure, what we're doing to withstand, and what we're doing to be able to keep pushing forward within. Because we can't stop these things. Like I said in the last live, we can only push forward to make ways, strategies, skills to help us be able to live through them. So, got that. Pretty much hit all the bases. Now I'm going to speak a little bit from out the book. Self-awareness, personally for me, that's really, to be aware of yourself is to be able to not only move smoothly with other people. When you're aware of yourself, there's a lot of people who are not self-aware. There's a lot of people who are not aware of their emotions, their actions. They're only aware of their emotions. So this is why I feel this way. So this is why. Not even more so, why am I feeling this way? So that I can process it and say to myself, damn, okay, I know why I'm feeling this way. Let me go about da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, a lot of people are not self-aware. Something made them upset. Something triggered them. Now they're mad. They're taking it out on you. Socially, it's a hindrance. You won't be able to build no sturdy relationship. You won't be able to move forward socially at all. That's why you start with personal competence. You start with self-preservation. You start with building yourself up in the areas you're supposed to. You start with your own mental health. And then once you build yourself up, you'll be able to pinpoint it out in other people. You'll be able to, oh, okay, all right, oh, I'm not even offended because they mad. I know why they mad, even though I'm not the reason why. I understand it. You'll be able to stop taking things so personal, because you'll be able to be more so awoken. I mean, you'll be looking all three ways, because you'll be able to see more than what the appearance is showing. Mental health that's not something you can see. Well, in action, and not even directly. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something important. Self-awareness and self-discipline, self-control is another big part of mental, building your mental up. Emotional intelligence, that's another big part. Very big. That's big just within self-preservation, just within moving up the ladder. If you don't have no self-discipline, no self-control, where you going? Where you going? you're going to be stuck in a limbo, in a constant limbo, because you can't get past your own self. So let's really work on self-control, self-discipline, and acknowledging that being able to control it all is the key. Mental health month, y'all. It means